So 3 years ago, the New Zealand Aid Program had its OECD Development Assistance Committee peer review. And just a couple of months ago, they came back to do a midterm review. And I wanted to give you a quick update on how your aid program is performing. So the first thing they noted was that we have rebalanced towards the Pacific. 56% of expenditure is now in our own neighbourhood. We have increased our expenditure on sustainable economic development from 15% to well over a third. And some of you may have seen the Pacific Energy Summit in the media a couple of weeks ago. This was the first time that we partnered with other donors and the private sector, and we were able to raise $635 million to help the Pacific transform from expensive and dirty diesel to renewable energy solutions. So that was very exciting to be part of. Chris mentioned the fast-growing tourism in the cruise ship industry, and we now have a public-private partnership with 5 companies, among them Carnival, that is now making sure that in the Pacific there are backward linkages into local communities so that they can benefit. Fletcher Building is working with us to ensure that there are placements of Pacific plumbers, electricians, engineers, so that they're better able to get jobs when they go home. And we've managed to save $10.1 million of New Zealand taxpayer money in delivering this new program. How do we rank internationally? Well, we've moved up from 30th out of 58 on the Transparency Index, and we're now at 16 out of 72. So we've moved from the bottom quartile into the top third, which we're very excited about. But the thing that we're most pleased about is that we now rank number 1 in the 2012 Commitment to Development Index, and that's ahead of Canada and the EU. And that brings in, of course, that all-important dimension of security, which Chris spoke about and referenced North Korea, and how that kind of unforeseen security situation could impact New Zealand. So, the next 18 months, New Zealand is running for a seat on the United Nations Security Council. We are hoping to be elected in the 2015-16 slate. It would be 21 years since we last served, and we are competing against Spain and Turkey. So this is my last Rotary meeting for 18 months. The Minister, at quite short notice, is sending me to Geneva to help Jim McClay, who's our permanent representative in New York, and who is, of course, running the main game in a very senior role. And I will be the head of mission in Geneva and also the permanent representative to the UN there. I'll also be the Prime Minister's special envoy to Francophone Africa, which is going to be interesting because some of the countries I'm having to look up on the map. So, not an area where New Zealand has had a lot of connection before. I will still be retaining my title as head of the New Zealand Aid Program, but one of my team will be acting as Deputy Secretary while I'm away. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you for the fellowship and service, the opportunities to get to know you since I've been back in New Zealand the last 2.5 years. And I think it was just 2 years since I had my first 5-minute talk where I mentioned that I'd been a Rotary exchange student, and what a life-changing experience that was for me. That was back in the days, of course, when women weren't allowed to be members of Rotary, and that really opened my eyes going to New York to the importance of the international world and helped shape my career future working as a public servant for you, hopefully securing us a seat on the Security Council. So a huge thank you to Rotary, a huge thank you to you as fellow members for your friendship, camaraderie and service, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in 18 months. Thank you very much.